Hello, and welcome to Session 2. In Session 2, we will be reviewing the following topics: Google Docs, Google Forms, Google Slides, as well as ways that you and your child can find some help built into Docs, Forms, and Slides. We'll also learn about voice typing with Google, how to use the Read and Write extension with Google, as well as learn what Flipgrid, Screencastify, and Nearpod are, and how your child will interact with them. Thank you so much for joining us. In this tutorial, we are going to take a look at Google Docs, Google Forms, and Google Slides. Google Docs is a word processor that's included as part of a free web-based software office suite offered by Google within Google Drive. The service also includes Google Sheets and Google Slides, which are a spreadsheet and a presentation program. Google Forms is a tool that allows collecting information from users through a personalized survey or quiz. Now we're going to take a look at Google Docs first. We're going to go into Google Drive and we're going to select New. This is exactly what a student would do. Select New, and then they can select Google Docs. Now you'll notice over here there's the ability to start a blank document or to start from a template. You can go ahead and take a look at that if interested, but for right now what I'm going to do is just select Google Docs. When you do that, a new document will be created. Now, if you know you're already logged into Google, what you can do is you can open up a new tab and just type in doc.new. When you do that, a new document will be created. So you really didn't need to go into Drive. You can just start a document right away there. Now, I'm just going to write in the word sample. And what I can do, you can see it's automatically saved. There's no need to save. I'm going to click right up in here, and it's going to name it sample. If I'd like, I could rename it by typing something else in there. If I'd like to do that, I can certainly do that. Now, there's a lot to do in Google Docs, and there are a lot of questions that come up at times. And if this happens, something I recommend is going into the help, and then you can see Docs help, and then training. So go ahead, take a look at that. Some really useful tools. Now, one thing to point out, when students are creating a new document or a new presentation in slides, you can see that it's automatically private to the creator until they change the settings. So they'd have to select right up in here. It kind of looks like a lock, and you can add people and groups. In this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with my personal email. Now, over here, you can change the settings. So you could have somebody be a viewer or a commenter or an editor. You can also type a message in there if you'd like to. Now, when I send this, it's going to let me know that it's sending outside of the organization, which is Methacton. I'm going to share anyway for right now, just for this example. And you're going to notice now that it's no longer in a lock. Well, sometimes people may share something with someone and maybe they made a mistake. So they could go ahead back in, and then they could either change it from an editor to a commenter or a viewer. They could make that person an owner. They could give temporary access. Or they could remove that person entirely, select save, and you'll notice this reverts back to a lock. And now it's locked. So there you go. Now we're going to go ahead in and we're going to take a look at starting a new form. So again, you could go in and you could do new form, or if you want, let's just go right here. We're just going to type in forms.new. And here we have our untitled form. Now, for the most part, students, they may make some forms here and there, but for the most part, what's going to happen is they're going to be able to see a form and fill one out for their class. So you can see this right in here. Here's our form. You can fill things in. You can see that there are questions here where, let's fill this in. What's 2 plus 2? So we're going to go ahead in and fill in 4. And then you can fill in an answer. So you can see there's short answer. And then this is the second page. So I wanted to show this to you as well. Now, there's a video here. And the nice thing about videos built into forms is it just shows the video itself. It does not show anything, any suggested videos afterwards or things beforehand. So it's just nice to have that. Anything that has a red little asterisk means it has to be answered, because if I try to hit submit here, it'll say, hey, this is required. You must put this in. So for right now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put in sample, and I'm going to hit submit. Okay, because this was one in which I created before that had it as a quiz, students can view the quiz right away. You can see in this, I made it 2 out of 2 because what I did on the last one, which is the one I just called sample, I did not have this be worth any points. You can see it says 0 out of 0. I didn't make that worth anything because I was going to go in later on, and as a teacher, I would edit that so they could see things excuse me, that were, say, multiple choice, or it could be instantly graded, would come up, but that could be something that would be graded later on, or maybe it's just something I just wanted the students to tell me about, and I would talk to them personally. So I wanted to point that out. The last one here is Google Slides. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to type in, again, you could go into Google Drive and start in a new slide, but I just typed in slides.new. Again, you have a lot of themes over here where you can scroll through and see different things. A lot of different things, again, that you can do and are built into slides. I'll have a quick one. I'll have one right here just to show you one that was created in the past. Just kind of goes through. It's a nice way you can embed videos. Okay, so I'm going to take that out for right now. But again, go through, see different things, change the background, change different layouts. One thing I'm going to point out one more time is the help. You can go into Slides Help and Slides Training as well right in there. Now, one last thing to point out. Students, many times, will, when they are in their Google Classroom, maybe there's a question that's asked. So I'm going to go ahead into classwork here. And let's just say I have something like this one. What is your favorite color? So I just selected, I'm going to select View Your Work. What is your favorite color? And then View Details. So if it's what is my favorite color, right over in here where it says Add or Create, I can add or create a Google Doc, a slide, a sheet, and even a Google Drawing right from there. But for right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select Docs because that's a pretty easy one to create. So give it a little bit of time. The nice thing is it already named it for me. So what I can do, it'll put the student's name on there and then the question that comes up. So if I just typed in blue for right now, I can go ahead in. I can turn it in. It's been submitted. I'm going to select turn in again. And now it has been created. If I go back and I go into my classwork, you can see how it's grayed out, meaning I've already handed in. There are other things I still do have to go in and take a look at. So again, in Google Classroom, it's really important for students to go in and check the turned in and things that are missing as well. So there you go. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye-bye. Hello, in this tutorial, we'll be taking a look at voice typing in Google Docs. I'm presently logged into my Google account and in Google Drive. I'm going to select New, Google Docs. Little tip, you could always come up to a new tab if you're logged into your Google account and type in doc.new, select Enter, and you'll have a new document. Now to start with voice typing, you could select Control-Shift-S, or you could select Tools and scroll down to voice typing. When you're ready to begin voice typing, simply select the microphone and begin speaking. Hello, my name is Brad, period. New line. It is very sunny outside today, exclamation point. You can see when you're finished with the voice typing, you can just select the microphone and the voice typing will stop. And of course, you could go ahead and edit or add to the document as you see fit. For some tips and tricks, you could always go into support.google.com, type in something like voice typing, and where it says type with your voice, you can find some information that will be quite helpful, beneficial for you. So there you go. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye-bye. In this tutorial, we're going to take a look at the Read and Write extension for Google Chrome. The Read and Write extension allows users to have a website or a Google Doc be read aloud for them. So the extension itself looks like this. If you do not see it, kind of looks like a puzzle piece. If you don't see it, and it would be populated right up in here, make sure to Google Read and Write, and then you'll be taken to the Chrome Web Store, and make sure to select Add to Chrome. When you do so, then make sure to select Add Extension, and you will see it populated right up in here. Okay, so we're ready to go. We're going to go into a website. Now, I would like this first line read aloud. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the Read and Write extension. You can see it right there. If you click on it again, it will disappear. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to highlight this first line, and I'm going to press play.
Hi, families. If your child's teacher introduced Flipgrid into the classroom, welcome. We're here to help. What is Flipgrid? Okay, so we're going to pause it there. Of course, you could stop it as well.
And then, if you'd like, you can press pause again and continue on. When you're ready to stop, you can go ahead and stop. Now, let's say there's a certain term that a student is unfamiliar with. They could go ahead and they could have it translated. And you can see there are a few languages that come up. Now, something else to point out, I'm going to go into a Google Doc. So here's our Google Doc, and I would like to practice my my reading. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to highlight all this text here. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the Read/Write extension again. Now, if you ever see this, just make sure to select what kind of looks like a carrot there, and then we're going to select Practice Reading Aloud. And now, as it says there, you click the record button to get started, stop when you're finished, and use the play button to listen to how you did. So I'm just going to read a little bit. Boost reading and writing confidence across all types of content and devices, in class, at work, and at home. Okay, so when you're ready, you can go ahead and press play. Boost reading and writing confidence across. Okay, if you would like, you could re-record, or if you'd like, you could send it on to your teacher. So that is the Read and Write extension. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye-bye. Hello, in this tutorial, we're going to be taking a look at Flipgrid. Flipgrid is a website that allows teachers to create grids to facilitate video discussions. It could be as simple as tell me what your favorite color is, to a much more involved question. Now, please note that the videos, depending on the teacher, they may have the video be moderated. So it's only between the teacher and the student. Sometimes it will not be moderated, where it stays living within the grid itself. So other students would be able to see other students' videos. Again, that's according to how the teacher would like to use this tool. So just wanted to point that out. Things could be shared with you as well. So if there was a great discussion about, let's just say, the moon, something like that, and a teacher wanted to share it with you, they could certainly send the link and you could see it. So let's go ahead and take a look at what Flipgrid looks like. Now, of course, we could go into Google Classroom here, or we could create a shortcut and just select right here, and you'll see Google Classroom come up. And we're going to talk about the current phase of the moon, but we're going to go in to the classroom, and then we're going to go into classwork. Something, again, to always point out is to always make sure to go into that classwork. Now, here it is, current phase of the moon, which is a waning crescent, I do believe. And so here's what we're going to do. I always like selecting here. So if we select it, we're going to view assignment. So we can read everything. We can see, are there any class comments? Maybe somebody had something that came up, about a question that was going on here. So it's always important to see that. As well as if your child has a private comment that is specifically just for the teacher, they could go ahead and type that in there, and it would be a discussion between the teacher and the student right there. No one else would see them. So what we're going to do is we're going to enter into Flipgrid. Okay, if at first it comes up, they may need to sign in the first time, where they have to choose their name. There'll be a little pop-up. So if that comes up, just make sure to select the pop-up screen, and it'll just have their name, and they just click on it. So just wanted to show that. Now, here's the question. It says, what is the current phase of the moon on August 19th, 2020? Okay, so you could record a response right here. There could be other items that come up, maybe a Google Doc to take a look at, maybe another website to click on, take a look at this site and tell me your thoughts, whatever it may be. Or they may put in something like Phases of the Moon video, where they can go ahead and watch the Phases of the Moon video. I'm not going to go ahead and do that right now. But what I am going to do is I'm going to scroll down here. And you can see that it says that this response is moderated, meaning as soon as I submit this, I will not be able to see this from my point of view, as well as other students will not be able to see it either. The only person that can see it then would be the teacher. Now, if it isn't moderated, and I'll show you what that looks like, all the videos would come up in here so students could watch other students' videos and go from there. So let's go ahead and show you what it looks like. So I'm going to record a response. So you can see here you have 30 seconds. Now this goes anywhere between 15 seconds all the way up to 10 minutes. So in this case, we're just going to do 30 seconds. So we're going to click anywhere to dismiss. Now you have some options. First of all, hello. And the options come up here. So you could upload a clip. If you had something, maybe you shot a video of the moon last night or tonight and you wanted to include that, you could do that. There's a mirror image just to show you that. You can, as you can see there, without audio or with audio. Okay. Also, as you can see, without audio, click anywhere. Now, we're also going to go ahead in here. You can just record the screen. Here's some effects. Sometimes these will not be available because sometimes, it may be something that is a little distracting. So, for example, that's quite distracting. Sometimes it's fun. It's, hey, make a really cool video. I'll just leave it with no filter, but there are some really neat filters to take a look at. Let's go back. Let's clear that filter. You can see other ones where there are different frames. So, for example, a news one, really neat one to check out. So there's a lot of really neat ones to look at there. Let's get out of the frames here. Emojis, always fun. You can see there's a lot of them. You can search through there. Again, these are not available on every video. It's according to what the teacher would like. But of course, on some of them, it's really kind of fun. Well, let's take that one frame out. Don't necessarily want that. You can type in text. So you could see how you could type certain things in. There's a lot of different options. So you can just type in, whatever it may be. We're going to delete that for right now because we're not going to use it. But again, there are lots of options that are available to make it really creative. There's a drawing tool. So you could go ahead and draw whatever it is you like. Okay, you can always, of course, go back as well. That's a nice feature to have. Let's go back again. Now, you could also include a picture. So if you had a picture of the moon from last night, or you had a picture that you'd like to use, you could certainly do that. But a really cool one is this, is the whiteboard. So you can include a whiteboard. So you could just have it look like this, or you could clear it out. But what you could then do is you could talk about it right here. So if a student does not want to show a video or show their face, they certainly do not have to do that. They could just talk. Something up here as well, just to point out, is a sticky note. So if they just wanted to remind themselves that it was a waning crescent, no one's going to see this but them, and they can add a number of different videos and just move them around. So it's really nice to have, so they don't keep looking down necessarily at their notes. Another one to point out is this split screen. This is new, where they got a video here, and they can talk about, that last night it was a waning crescent, and they could go ahead and draw in here what it looked like. So they can do that. So you can show a video and a whiteboard at the same time. So it's a really cool feature to have. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to go ahead through. I'm going to remove the board, clear the board, and I'm just going to do a quick video. Has a nice little 3-second countdown. Last night's moon was a waning crescent, and it was kind of difficult to see because of the clouds. But I'm looking forward to seeing a full moon sometime down the line. Okay, so if you can see how I pause that there. If they want to redo it, you can just redo it, confirm. Maybe you didn't like how it sounded, and then you can say, last night was a waning crescent. Last night's moon was a waning crescent. It was really, really difficult to see, though, but it was a waning crescent. I even Googled it. Okay, so when you're ready, hit next. You can do a preview. Last night's moon was a waning crescent. It was really... Okay, if you would like, last night's you could was a waning... trim, if you want to trim from the front or the back. I'm just going to hit confirm for right now. Last night's Hear it again. And now there's a selfie. So a selfie is important because the teacher needs to see who it is. So if we just, again, there are the effects. If teachers have it open, they can certainly, students could certainly add some things. Let's see if there's a moon one. I'm sure there is. Perfect. Whoops. So if we want to redo that, because we just want to see that. All right, that's fine. Well, it's not the best. Okay, so if you want to change, you can put in the display name, come in, any kind of link. Maybe you want to put something in there about the moon itself. Maybe took a video and a title. You hit submit. It has now been submitted. You can see are these different options. A direct link to the video if you want to share it. You can download a QR code that could be scanned. You could download the selfie. Again, these are options that are available for the teacher or not if they would like students to be able to do these things. We're going to hit complete. Now it says the video was submitted. Your video will be hidden until approved by your educator. So you can see right away it's just between the teacher and the student. Now I'm going to show you, I'm going to go in as a teacher and unmoderate that. Okay, so now I just took that off being moderated, and you can see it was just added right now, so I can go ahead and press play. Last night's moon was a waning crescent. Okay, so there it is. So the student is able to see it right there. And then they will all populate right down in here when other students put in their videos. So that is a brief look into Flipgrid. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye-bye. Hello, in this tutorial we're going to take a look at the extension Screencastify. Screencastify allows you to record, edit, and share your screen with others. Now the extension looks like this, so if you do not see it populated up here, what you'll need to do is Google Screencastify extension. You'll come to the Chrome Web Store and you want to select Add to Chrome and then Add Extension. You'll see it populated right up in here. Give it a few seconds. And there it is. Now, you can always use the extension by clicking on the extension itself or by pressing Alt, Shift, and S. We're going to close out of here, and we're going to go into Google. Now, let's say a student would like to go ahead and send a quick Screencastify. Maybe there's something that they want to share with their teacher. Maybe something isn't showing up, or maybe they just want to share a cool thing that they've done on their screen. So let's go ahead and show you how that would work. So we're going to select the extension. And you'll have to go through a little bit of setup the first time. We're going to sign in with Google. Please note that the videos are automatically saved in Google Drive. Okay, so you have to allow the camera and microphone. Of course, you could always toggle these off as well. And select Next, and then select Allow. Okay, so we're all set. Now, there are helpful quick video tutorials over here, should you or your child like to take a look at them. Now we're going to close out and we're just going to do a quick screencast. So let's go head up, select here, and you're going to notice there's some options. There's just a browser, so it wouldn't do the whole desktop, just a browser. There's also the desktop, so you can show things that are on your actual desktop itself, not the browser. There's webcam only. You do not have to include the webcam. You can toggle that off. You do not have to include the microphone either, although it's quite helpful. Now, in the upper left, what's called the hamburger, some call it 3 lines. You can see the name of the student, previous recordings, as well as some options, some editors, where you can go ahead and check your previous recordings. You can always go to your previous recordings here as well by selecting My Recordings, and when you do so, it will open up. And we don't have any right now, but it will show that in the future. Let's go ahead back. Up here are any kind of notifications that come available. We don't have any right now. And then here we have settings. So if you like to go ahead and resize some things, you can certainly do that as well. Now what we're going to do here, we're going to do a quick screencast. So let's select record. And then we're going to do the entire screen and select share. There will be a 3-second countdown. Kind of nice to have. Okay, so this is Screencastify. So what we can do right here, if you want, you can automatically pause the recording and then resume. You can see here as well, you can always hide the cursor, or you could do a focus mouse. You could also use Alt plus F. Let's continue doing this here. And what I mean by the focus mouse is it does this. So it will focus in on where you are. Now, if you like to take that off, you could certainly go ahead and do that if you would like to. So you can just select right in here or in here and choose what you would like. Now, there's also a pen. So if you want to, you could go ahead and you can, circle in here. Of course, there's an eraser, so you can go ahead. And I just did that right there where it removed the whole thing I was working on. You could, of course, let's change the color. So you can do this, and then if you select here, you can just erase a little bit. So just want to point that out for you. Now let's go ahead and let's just do a quick one here that shows how you can use Google, just the address bar to search. So if I typed in Phillies Red Sox, you can search right in there. You don't ever have to go into Google and do that. You could quickly search. Now, we're going to select stop. So the recording is finished. Okay, so now we have options. And what we can do right in here, you can see it's automatically playing. So what I can do is I'm going to pause this right here. I can move it back and I can listen to the whole thing here. Of course, I can make this larger so it takes up the whole screen. You can see it's 1:09. You can also see up here, I can rename this. Whoops, I'll just name this sample for right now. Okay, so this is Screencastify. Okay, if I'd like to trim something, I could go ahead and do that. And I could trim areas that I would like to trim. So maybe I want to trim. What we can do right here, if you want. Okay, so let's do this. Let's pause. Let's edit. Let's open an editor. You can take a look and see what this does. It's loading your recording. Okay. So easiest way to combine and polish movies if you want. You can go through and check these out. I'm not going to go through everything for you, but I just wanted to show you. You can cut, you can crop, you can zoom, you can do all those things that you like to, and you can download your finished video, export it if you'd like. And we're going to select got it. So in here you can see where we are. So if I select here, I can go ahead and I can kind of move this around as I would like to see fit. So I could trim certain parts of it out. I could go ahead and I could crop certain parts, as you say, draw a rectangle to crop. So if I want to, I could just go in and I can show this part if I'd like to do that. If I'd like to reset, maybe I made a mistake, I can either reset or I can just go ahead and undo because I don't want to do that. If I'd like to kind of do a zoom in, I can certainly do that as well, and you can see the in and the out. I can go ahead, I can add some text, and I can just type this in here. Of course, I could change the size and font and all that. Again, I'm going to go back. But if I'd like to trim a little bit out of the end, like this little bit, because typically at the end of a video, maybe something comes up, you may want to do that. So of course I trimmed off a second. So what I can now do is I can go ahead and I can say export. I can export it to Google Drive. I can just call it sample. Save it. And now you can share a link to your video. So we're going to select share, and then I can send it on to whom I would like to. And I'm going to select send. Okay, so it's been completed. If I'd like to, I can always go back to this. So if this was something where you didn't want to edit and you just wanted to quickly share the video and share it quickly and easily, you could just copy this shareable link right here. It's copied. Just to show you that it does work, I can go head up, Control V, paste it in, and then this is what people would see. Again, this is the unedited version. Screencastify. And you can see it comes up, easy to send on. If they like to share it to Classroom, you can certainly do that. And there are other options as here where you could even just export the audio only. So there are a lot of really neat options with this. And thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye-bye. Hi everyone, in this tutorial we're going to take a brief look into Nearpod. Nearpod is a site that allows for interactive videos, lessons, and formative assessments for teachers and students. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what it looks like. So I'm in the Methacton Launchpad. Of course, you can always select Google Classroom right here. Show you a little tip just to put in a bookmark. You could always press Control and D or come over here to the three dots, select Bookmarks, and then you could bookmark this tab. In which case you can select Done, and you can see it's right here. I'm going to do one thing. I'm going to right click and I'm going to delete it. If you have one quickly, you can always just drag it down, right click, edit, and if you know that's Google Classroom, take out the name of the bookmark and you can see it's right here. So here I have my Gmail, I have the Launchpad, I have just regular Google support, and I have Classroom. So it's just a way to take a few seconds off. So what we're going to do here, we're going to select the Classroom, we're going to go into classwork, and since this is green, I know it's something that's due. Now, there is no due date on this. I just didn't put that in. Typically, that would be done by a teacher, though, so I just want to point that out. So let's go into a sample Nearpod, and if you'd like, you can always go into View Assignment, and you can see right in here, we're going to be learning about ancient Egypt. Now, on the right-hand side, just something to point out, you can always put in a private comment that just goes to the teacher. That's all. It only goes to the teacher of that class. The class comments, everyone in the class would be able to see. Just wanted to point that out. So let's go ahead and select Nearpod. And then we're going to go ahead and you just type your name in. We're going to select Join Lesson. And now we're learning about ancient Egypt. And we're learning about this on our own. So we're going through, this is not teacher-led at that time, but you can see, here we have a little virtual reality. All I'm doing is dragging the cursor around to see what is coming up. So now I'm going to go ahead through, and I click through, and you have a few teacher notes and some objectives of what we're going to be learning about. Now, in this one, we're going to be learning about the tomb of one of the pharaohs of ancient Egypt. There's an open-ended question that's going to be coming up. And just to show you, the question is, what was a pharaoh? So if I try to go ahead through, you have to go through and answer it. So you can just, I'm just going to type in sample for right now and select Submit. Give some background information. Take a look from the outside so you know that that's going to be, again, little virtual reality. So you can see it's very interactive. You can go ahead through, and this one, you can. It's going to let you know you need to scroll down, so it's going to give you some information here. So just make sure to take a look at these pop-up ads, or pop-ups as well, not pop-up ads. Okay, so you can see in here, what do you think that you can infer about the pharaohs from the size, shape, and style? So down in here, you have text where you can go ahead and type things in. You can, of course, add some pictures. You can erase, and then you could add a paintbrush as well. I'm going to go ahead and select Submit for right now. So as you can see, you go ahead through. You're going to go into Tomb of Ramsey. All right, so there is a lot going on with this, and it's really pretty cool because the students are engaged. There's another video that's embedded, so you can see, and you'll go on until it's finished. Here's the video. Can you write your name in hieroglyphics? So again, here it is. So I'll just type in a little something here just for now. Hit Submit. And all this information goes directly to the teacher. Okay? And I'll just fill in one more thing here just so we can show you. I'm going to hit Submit. And it has now been completed. If you want to start over, of course, you could start over. But now that it's been completed, you need to make sure, go back and select Mark is Done. That way, for you, you know that you are finished. I'm now going to show you what it looks like if students and teachers are working together. Okay, so now I'm going to show you what it looks like if the teacher and the students are working together on a Nearpod. So the lesson's running, and the teacher can be talking about things while the students are listening and see what's going on. So here we go. What we're going to do is we're going to go in as a student here, and we're going to go into join.nearpod.com, and we are going to copy this link. Now, of course, there are other options down here to share this as well, but for right now, we're just going to go ahead in, and I'll show you what this looks like. We're going to join. Okay, and we'll just say sample, join lesson. So now what we're going to do as a teacher, I'm just going to minimize this as well as this, so then you can see both at the same time here. I'll show you what it looks like from a teacher point of view and from a student point of view. So let's make this, bring this over a little bit here. Let's try that a little bit. Okay, so going to be a little difficult, but I'll do my best. Okay, so the teachers have joined, or the students have joined, so we can go ahead through. So now, as the teacher, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead through, and I'm going to go ahead through. You can see that there are student names down here as well. You can see this right here. If I click on it, you can see the student list is right there, and of course, it could be removed for whatever reason. So I'm going to go through it, and as I do that, you can see it moves along with the students, so they can see exactly what's going on. So let's go ahead through. Let's keep going. You can see it's the same thing. They're going to talk about objectives, the standards, whatever it may be, your first assignment. So they're going to have to draw a picture. So then here's what happens. Let's just do a quick drawing here. So draw a picture of the moon. Okay. So what we can do is we hit submit. They have it, and now what I can do as the teacher, you can see sample submitted, and I can see the drawings. So I'll be able to see all the drawings of all the students right away. So pretty cool. Let's go ahead on, and you can see it just keeps on going. And then there's going to be a video that what I can do, I can play on all devices, and I apologize. There we go. It will start playing right away and go through, and of course the student and the teacher can talk about things. So that's Nearpod, how it can be run by a teacher, you know, and the students together at the same time, so they can both learn at the same time and discuss things and have a great lesson. So there you go. If you have any questions, please reach out. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.